Hey there, welcome back to Well-Oiled Operations. Today we are talking about building a marketing machine. I want you to be thinking about marketing in a different way. Marketing should be automated. Follow-up should be a system. It should not be something you think about and go, oh, shoot, I didn't reach back out to that person who said they wanted to buy, right? I want to make sure that you have predictability in your leads, okay? Now, it's hard to have predictability when you don't have a certain software to be able to help you show what is going on in your business. So as I'm recording this, it's early January. And what is so cool is last year, we could look at our numbers in December, and we noticed, shockingly, that the week of December 26th, like that week, is our biggest week of the month of December. And I have to give credit to Lewis Howes for this, because I was in his mastermind like 5 years ago or something. And I remember we did a private one-on-one call, and Lewis said to me, it was like December 23rd or something, or 20th. And he goes, so where's your revenue at for whatever year that was? And I told him the number, and he's like, okay, where do you hope to end? And I was like, Lewis, it's December 20th. What do you think I'm doing in 11 days? And he's like, why are you giving up? Like, do a webinar next week. And I was like, a webinar the week of Christmas? You're crazy. And he's like, are you up for the challenge? I'm like, of course. So I do a webinar on like December 28th. It was phenomenal. Okay. At the time, I think I made like $20,000. At the time, that number was very, very exciting for me. I did not anticipate making that on a quick, like 1 hour training. Now, what's amazing is because he challenged me to do it, I have started doing things the week between Christmas and New Year's. And because I have a marketing funnel and I have software to show me automation, to show me patterns, to show me what's going on, I said to the team this year, FYI, guys, the biggest week of the year for not of the year, the biggest week of the month for December is the week of Christmas to New Year's. And sure enough, this year, that week sold as many well-oileds as the first 3 weeks combined. That is the power of knowing what is about to happen, the predictability, right? To be able to say, yes, spend this much on ads. We are going to do really, really well. So just little things like that can turn into big things. So anyway, today I am bringing on a friend. She is a co-founder of FG Funnels. Her name is Julie Chenell, and Julie is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to marketing. Julie has this amazing marketing software that my studios are using, as well as my online business, Well-Oiled. Okay. I would never share a software that I did not believe works and we were getting results from. Okay. So stick around. I'll actually share with you in here if you want to purchase FG Funnels, if you're drinking the Kool-Aid like me and you're excited about building an automated marketing funnel, I've got some amazing funnels and templates that I will put inside your account. So I'll stick around and I'll share that at the end, how to access those. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoy today's episode, really starting to think bigger when it comes to predictability in your marketing and in acquiring leads. Enjoy. Hi, Julie. Welcome to Well-Oiled Operations.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. I'm excited to geek out on marketing with you. I am a big marketing fan, and who better than to chat with than one of the founders of FG Funnels. So thanks for being here with us.
I'm always excited to talk tech and marketing. I could do it all day.
So I would love to kind of just share a little bit of your background. How did you get into marketing? Like, why marketing? Why are you so passionate about it? And then we'll jump in.
Yeah. So I actually have a degree in clinical psychology. And so I've always been fascinated by human behavior. I never went on to get my PhD. I had babies and, life happened. And I was a writer for a while. And I also really liked tech. So I can't remember when it was, maybe like 2015. I realized that if I blended my writing skills with my tech skills and threw in the human psychology aspect, that would probably make me a pretty good marketer. So I built an agency and then started to become an educator and a coach. And that's how I am where I am today.
So we're going to talk a lot about the importance of the marketing hat as a CEO. I think a lot of our listeners, they are wearing lots and lots of hats. And some of them are natural marketers like you and I, where they just love it. And some of them are like, I don't have time to market. I have to do this and that. And they don't almost see it as a priority. Right. And I want to talk about, like, for you, if for somebody who's not a natural marketer, like, almost convince them why this is such a needed skill set they need to dabble in and start to really master.
Yeah. So there's a story about a baker, and he was very, very good at making cakes. And he worked for the baker in town. He was the best cake maker in the world, let's say, just for the sake of the story. And he was annoyed by the business owner because he had ideas about how this bake shop could be run differently. And since he was the expert cakesman, he should be able to, tell him how it is. Well, it didn't work out. And the business owner, and the cake maker got into, big argument, and the cake maker eventually left. And he went to start his own business. And he wrongly assumed that because he was the best cake maker in the world, that he would be the best, most profitable business. And it turned out he was actually really, really bad at business. And so the big mindset shift is if you are the cake maker, and whether that's like you're a therapist or you're a chiropractor or a dentist, and you really have the expertise to help someone, the big aha I'm going to say to you is it doesn't matter what your skill is if nobody knows you have the skill. And so as much as you think you're in the business of yoga or therapy or dental, you're actually in the business of selling yoga, therapy, or dental, because it does no good if that skill is in hiding. And so your moral obligation is to become a good marketer so that people know you exist, so that they can get the solution that they need and actually change their life.
So well said, Julie. So I will say, I don't know that I was good at marketing in the beginning. I got good at it because I was like, wow, this is fun. I can put out something, right? And all of a sudden, more clients are coming, right? So I think I fell in love with what marketing gave me, right? And one of the things it gives you is predictability, right? I see in the beginning, a lot of it is like feast or famine. It's like, oh, today was great, and then tomorrow's not, right? So can you talk a little bit about the predictability or lack of predictability you see sometimes when clients come to you and really wanting to build like their first marketing funnel?
Yeah. So everything is about math and patterns. And so even when you are doing sort of door-to-door marketing where you're going to business networking and you're talking in Facebook groups and stuff, there is a certain quantity of conversations you're having that equal a certain quantity of discovery calls or booked appointments.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're just not monitoring it, so you don't see the pattern. So in your mind, you're like, I don't know where clients are coming from. They just word of mouth, right? But
everybody says word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. They just fell out of the sky. No, they didn't. You did some repeated behaviors, probably behaviors that you don't even equate with marketing. And you did those behaviors over and over again. And that created noise around your business and who you are. And if you actually just studied the pattern, you'd see the math. Oh, look, turns out if I spend 20 minutes a day in this Facebook group and I answer 5 comments a day, that's averaging about 2 discovery calls on my calendar, right? You start to notice the patterns. So with marketing funnels, it's the same thing. The difference is the funnel is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Whereas in door-to-door marketing, you're actually having individual conversations. In a funnel, the funnel is having the conversation. And so we track numbers, and we can very, very predictably figure out if we use this much money, it's going to get this many clicks. And we know human behavior says about this many people are going to take action. Yeah. And I think our forecasting sheet over at Funnel Gorgeous, I mean, we were within $100,000 on our profit and loss statement in terms of our forecasting. We do multi-millions a year.
Yeah.
We were able to predict it because of that behavior and studying those patterns.
For everybody listening, I always tell people, you have a marketing funnel. If you're in business, you have a marketing funnel. It might not be the funnel we are picturing, right? That's automated and there's a beautiful landing page and all of these sequences. But there is something you are doing, right, that has led you to get these sales. What you really want to start to do is what Julie is saying is let the automations, let this amazing software do the heavy lifting for you. So whatever you're currently doing to get people to come into your brick and mortar or buy off your website, right? how do we automate that so that you, the business owner who already are way too busy, don't have to be the full-time marketer doing all of the things, right? This having a software like funnel or like FG funnels is going to take off so much manual stuff off of your plate.
I think a lot of people, they get worried about automations and funnels because they don't want to lose the human touch. And I always say to people, automation allows you to become more human because it buys back your time so that you can do all the human activities that you want to do and save a lot of the administrative. So let me just give you a really like tangible example.
Yeah.
Your clients have birthdays, right? And you want to reward customer loyalty. So it doesn't make any sense for you to log in and look at all who have birthdays in the next coming week and then get cards and write, like that doesn't make any sense. What it does allow you to do is in the system, say 5 days before, so-and-so's birthday, go ahead and mail them a postcard. And then when they come in, then you have that one-to-one conversation and that customer loyalty is built. And you have the time to do that because the system is doing all of those logistics in the background.
So that's such a good example. Let's say you have 100 customers, right? To have it automatically send 100 texts or 100 emails or whatever it is, right? And then the 5 people, the 10 people that bring it in, that say thank you, that now you get to be the human, the personal touch, that go deeper because you're not spending hundreds of, messages outbound, right? You're waiting to like have people raise their hand. Yes. And that's what good marketing does. It gets quality leads to raise their hand and say, let's talk. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, in a lot of the automations inside of FG funnels, there's a feature where if you have let's say you have an email sequence going out and someone decides to reply to that email, it's going to stop the automation and allow you to engage as a human. So, people get worried, like it's going to sound too automated, but a lot of, our system is smart enough to know, okay, if someone's replying, now you're going to go in and actually communicate with them face to face. And so this email sequence is reaching out to everybody. And then it allows you to focus on the people who raise their hand and say, I'm going to write to this person.
So my studios, my brick and mortar studios are currently using FG funnels. We have all the automations, everything set up. We are now with Well Oiled transferring everything over from a different software into FG funnels because we are so happy with our just everything that you guys offer. We've been very happy with. So we're moving everything over. And I want people to hear whether you have a brick and mortar or an online business or e-com or you name it, you need a marketing funnel. Okay. So I want to kind of pick apart the pieces of the software that I think are so crucial, but I want to explain like what they are. So when we say CRM, can you just explain what that is? Why do we care? Why do we need it? And we'll go from there.
We actually identify 5 core functions or foundations, if you will, of our marketing software. There's actually a 6th one. That's the secret one. But the first one that we always talk about is CRM, which is Customer Relationship Manager. It's fancy speak for all your customers' information. And your business is not a business without that customer information. So that's their name, their address, their phone number, but it's also things like their birthday or when they last clicked on an email link. And you're going to be able to tell whether a customer is really, really hot, like they're engaging with your content, or they're really, really cold. And so the Customer Relationship Manager allows you to store all that data and then use it in texting and voicemail drops and emails and all those types of communication.
Yeah. Okay, what's really cool that just happened this morning is we were in there and we basically saw somebody going to an old funnel that we didn't even know it's so old. We're like, what is this person doing? So I actually had one of my team members call her, right? Yep. So he calls her and she's like shocked that we know she's opening these emails and she's like going through this funnel and she's like, yeah, it's broken. And he's like, oh, you're actually in a funnel that is, 2 years old. We don't even, it was a live event. We don't have that anymore, but here's what we do have now. If you're interested. And she signed up for our next webinar where it's like, that is somebody, think about it, without these automations and this awareness. We would never have known she was putzing around on our website, found something that's like 3 years old. And her experience was everything is broken. Nothing's working because it's gone. It's over. But we turned it around. She's like, how do you know I was digging in your stuff today? She is now registered for our Monday training. And we are going to get her back in like that flow, that automation, which is so exciting.
Yeah, there's so many lost opportunities when you don't follow up with leads.
Yeah.
And we get it. You're a busy CEO. So this tool is doing a lot of that heavy lifting in the background for you.
So the CRM function, would you call that like when we talk about the pipeline, is that part of CRM in there?
Yeah. So a pipeline is, basically it's a bunch of columns. And when you are working a lead, you have someone apply, and then you have someone book a call, and then you follow up, and then you close the deal. And each one of those events is like a stage. And so the system will actually show you all the people who are in the applying stage and all the people who are in the follow-up stage. And you can then quickly assess who you need to contact, who you need to follow up with. And the system will do as much or as little as you ask it to do. I'm a macro thinker. I don't like automations that are too detailed, because then when they break, I'm like, wait, what piece happened? So I tend to use the system to help keep me on track, right? So the automations will be like, hey, it's Laura's birthday today. So I'm not using it to send Laura an automated text. I'm using it to say, hey, Julie, it's Laura's birthday today. Go reach out to her.
Yeah, I love that. So for me, like back in the day, I would just have an email list, right? And everybody was kind of created equal. It was like, today's the day I sent out the monthly June newsletter, and I would blast everybody. And when you have a pipeline, you get to treat people differently in the stage that they're in. So I really want people to hear this. If they're not using a pipeline type feature, you don't want to send the same message to somebody who's never stopped in, to the same message to somebody who's been there 4 times, right? Like it's just a different experience. So to be able to move them into different columns and say, hey, they showed up, they did a free trial today. Hey, they showed up and they bought, or they showed up and said they're going to think about it, right? Now my team gets to wake up each day and look at that pipeline and say, where are our hottest leads? Who do we need to reach back out to? And like you said, some of it is automated, but some of it is set up as a reminder. We had 5 people do trials yesterday at the studio. Who is calling them to find out, are they registering? Do they need help? Was there a problem? Do we need to try a different dance class? Things like that are so beneficial with the pipeline. So I think that is probably one of my favorite features of the software for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And any service-based business, brick and mortar or online, doesn't matter. It's irreplaceable. You
also have a calendar scheduler in there too. I think a lot of us have been using lots of softwares, and we've added on Acuity or Calendly
Calendly.
Right. Yeah. It's like, so, I mean, back in the day, I've been an entrepreneur now for like 21 years. Back in the day, if you would have said, how much do you spend on software? It would have been so minimal. It would have been like 3 softwares. Today, it's like 27. And that, even though it's 27 here and 97 there, it really adds up. And I think we have to really think about condensing and simplifying. I actually just had somebody apply to work for me, and they asked me where everything was housed. The last place they were at, they felt like they were running into this software and then bouncing over here and then bouncing over there. And he was like, I am so confused where to go and what to check. So can you talk about having that feature right inside?
Yeah, so that's the second core function, right? So we have the CRM, and then we have the calendar functionality. And this is great because you can click on somebody's name. You can see all the appointments they booked, if they canceled, if they rescheduled. The calendar functionality is getting more and more advanced every new update we have. So we have individual calendars, we have team calendars. Now we have group class calendars, calendars where people have to pay or fill out a form before they can book. So the beautiful part about this is that all that customer data is being stored in one spot. Whereas if you had a CRM and then you have a calendar software, they're not talking to each other. You have that data scattered about.
I did not know about the group calendar feature, and I am going to run to my studio and tell them when I'm done. Okay, that's really exciting. So, and there was ways we still were able to modify it. We had some things we were doing with Google Calendar, and it still worked really well. But to have that feature is amazing. Okay, that's exciting. So calendar scheduler, it's inside. I want to talk about the website and funnel builder. We've already kind of touched on it.
Yep.
Do you see people, like when people come to you, are they sold on funnels, or are you still trying to maybe convince them? Like, where are they at when they typically come to you?
A lot of people are coming because they're looking specifically for a funnel building software. So they'll have Yeah, they'll have a website on Squarespace or WordPress or Wix or Weebly or whatever those are. And they'll say, well, we want a funnel builder. And they'll purchase FG funnels for the funnel builder functionality. And then they'll sort of stumble on the fact that it also builds websites. And I just want to say, you can use FG funnels as a funnel builder or as a funnel and website builder. It's up to you. So if you have like an amazing SEO game right now on your WordPress website, just keep it. Yep. It's fine. What you can do is take all the forms, the surveys, the widgets, the chats, you can embed them in your website, and all that customer data is going to come into FG funnels. And then you can also use the funnel builder. However, I will say, as an old WordPress girl, blogger, SEO is my jam. I have maintained a WordPress site since 2007. I still have one. I had to redo my website, and I was just like, this is why most people should just put their website on FG funnels. It was quadruple the price because I had to code everything. Like it was 9 months of my life that I can't get back.
So that's a great point. So I as well have websites that are older, like we have them. We're not going to do it in FG funnels right now. If I didn't have a website or I wanted to update my website, 1000%, it would be
absolutely
so much effective just to do it inside. So I agree. Like, I don't think you have to use every feature to say, oh, I need this or I don't need this, right? There are some things where you're not going to use them. It's not going to be something you need now. It could be something though in the future.
The price is affordable enough that we're talking about the 5 functions of FG funnels right now. Even just replacing 2 is going to save you money.
Yeah, 1000%. And how much is it going to make you by having a cleaned pipeline where you follow up, right?
Exactly.
I just got off a training and we talked about follow up, and the amount of people that said, I do no follow up. I feel pushy. No. I don't know what to say. How many times do you reach out? Just 2 times, right? And I was actually just in a really, I opted into something local. And the follow-up was phenomenal for like 2 weeks. It was so good. And then it was just gone. Like it was like I was not existent. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, like he did it, but then he didn't keep going. And here's the deal. If I'm not interested, I can unsubscribe. I can say stop. Like I hate when people feel pushy because they opted into you. You're not forcing them to get your emails.
Right. That's that. It's 100% true.
Right. Okay. So those are 3 features. The 4th feature, the membership portal. I would love to share how our brick and mortar clients are using this, because what most people think is FG funnels is for online businesses. And why would you ever need a membership portal? But one of the things we teach at Well Oiled is we actually have training portals.
Just going to say.
Yes, for all of our team members. So instead of me onboarding and telling every new employee my story, my vision, the company values, right? Those are all recorded and they're all inside of the membership portal. So like the team feels like they're going through a program, a class, and they can mark off the trainings as they go. So that has been a game changer, having it inside, and you're not paying extra for it, which is amazing. But obviously there's another, what you really probably meant with membership portal. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, it's a learning management system. So any digital content that you want to put behind a paywall or behind a login, you can use the membership area for. And the beautiful part is, so every FG Funnels account comes with one, let's just call it a school. And that's your where you can house all your digital content. So like Stacy said, if you wanted to have an internal team employee sort of onboarding process, you could create an individual login every time you get a new employee. They can log in, they can go through that. But you can also create digital products or online products. And so whether it's, let's say you're a yoga studio and you want to offer like, hey, if you have a membership to the studio, you can also access our online remote version if for whatever reason you can't get in. And that is the nice part, is that you can have an unlimited number of classes. Every single class could have a different style and a different look. And you can house all of that, and you can, put it behind a login and password, which is really handy.
Yeah, I actually love it as an extra perk, even if you don't have digital offerings, to be able to say, and by the way, like my studio, we went virtual when COVID hit. But even to have a membership portal to say, and by the way, here are stretches at home. Here are 5 fun dance classes to do with family. Like, here's a Christmas dance to do with your family. Like, so cute, right? And just like an extra bonus and perk because of something we already have and we utilize. I
Absolutely
love that. Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, we talked about a tiny bit, is following up and really utilizing the messaging capability. So I'm talking email, text message, phone. First of all, why do you think we need all 3 of those capabilities?
Well, I think everyone has a natural tendency to gravitate towards one channel of communication. This is the same thing with social media. If I'm obsessed with TikTok, I'm not going to go follow you on Instagram. I'm going to talk to you on TikTok, right? So if I'm a texter, I'm going to text. If I'm an emailer, I'm going to email. If I'm a phone caller, I'm going to phone call. And so this ensures that you're communicating in a way that's most conducive and comfortable for your customer. And because, yes, you may have people who can do phone or text, but there are all kinds of messaging capabilities inside of FG Funnels. It's not just text. It's not just phone. It's also WhatsApp. It's also Messenger on Facebook. It's also Instagram DMs. It's, Google My Business reviews. Like, there's just lots of different ways that people can connect with you and contact you. It's even that like widget on your website where people can text you right through the website. So you want to make sure that you are flexible in the way you communicate.
Yeah, we had this person like irate on Google. I don't know if it's Google reviews or what. It was like, I tried to contact this place so many times and they're not responding. We're like, I'm sorry, here's our phone number. Like, where are you? So we did calm them down, but they were like messaging on the website widget. The emails were not coming to us, right? I'm like, So we had this like horrible irate client who's now posting on our reviews, telling everybody we don't respond, but we just missed it. So what is nice, and I'm so glad you brought it up, is now we just log in here. We're seeing the reviews and we're replying. We're seeing the website widget. We're seeing emails. We're seeing Instagram DMs. Like, everything's in one spot. And I know as somebody who has like front desk or online people that, do info at, there's so many places to check.
So many.
Yes. You're going to drop balls. You're going to have angry, upset customers or potential leads that aren't going to buy because you're ignoring them and you're not getting to them fast enough. So I think that is a massive perk. I've never seen that where I was blown away when I'm like, wait a minute, I can see my Facebook ads. I can see it was just like everything together.
Yeah.
Going back to the capability of email, text, phone, I love the automated, like the voicemail drops that are pre-recorded.
Yes.
So to have, this person that did such a great job had to have had a software just like yours, if not your software, because it was like they were doing everything so good. Like I had said, for like those first 2 weeks, it was the automated call of like, hey, this is, so-and-so from this place. And if I'm just a normal person, I'm like, wow, the owner just called me to check in. Like, it just sounds like how professional, how, like he stood out compared to I called like 5 places and it was like no follow-up and then an insanely good daily text, email, phone, like different varieties, right?
Right.
I do think I've noticed this in my studios that text is getting very, very popular. People would rather respond to a text than answer a phone call, right? So we have really started using the text message feature. Before we committed to you guys, we had looked into a lot of places. And if they didn't let us text somebody, it was a 1000% no way because it's just so powerful.
Yeah. No, so we had an event and we had like a conference and we had about 200 people attending. And the amount of questions that come in, do I have a map? Where do I eat? Like, where do I register? And we actually created a texting automation. And so this is, kind of talking about automations mixed with texting where we named the texting bot Gigi. We actually put like a little face on her so that when we texted people, she showed up in their contacts and then they could message her like map or, breakfast or whatever. And she would respond. And I think we fielded, there was over 6,000 text exchanges in those 3 days over those 200 people that allowed us to not have to like field all of that. And the best part about it is if people texted us and they didn't text us one of the automated words, someone in our team was notified, and then we could personally text their particular question.
So the few questions that you didn't give an option for, somebody was still able to customize it and make it be their own. Yeah. And this is where some people don't want to pick up the phone and call, right? They don't want to do that extra step. But when you give them these automations, sometimes we think automations are a bad thing. Some people prefer automations. They don't want to talk to a human. They don't want to feel pressured. They don't want to feel salesy, right? Like they're being sold. They love that they can click a few buttons and they're just getting their information instantaneously.
Exactly.
So good. Okay, I gave the 5. What is the 6th hidden one? Can you share that?
It's automations. It's what we call it. In FG funnels, we call it workflows. And it's the way that the CRM talks to the calendar, talks to the funnel builder, talks to the membership area, talks to all the messaging capabilities. So, for example, you get someone who logs into your online yoga studio. You notice that they complete 3 videos. You want to send them a note, right? You want to send them a text message. You want to invite them into the studio. Then you drop a voicemail drop. Then you send a calendar so they can book a class online. Yeah. It's the way all of these tools work together. And the problem with all the different softwares is that it's systems reliability, right? So for every additional software you have, you're introducing complexity, which lowers the efficiency of the whole system, in general. Yeah. And so when they're all in one, the amount of specificity, right? You know exactly what link they clicked and what class they're in and what page they visited. It creates that experience of like, wow, this person really knows me and they know exactly what I need and exactly what I want.
Yeah. And before a software like yours, you had to use like a Zap, right? A Zapier tool where it costs money, right?
Yep.
And there was tendencies to break once in a while where the two softwares would just not communicate. So we would think, oh, the Zap's on, we're good. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, why is the Zap not working anymore? Why are we not kicking this, right? So it is riskier to have 2 different softwares talking versus everything internal. And that I think is huge. And to give an example of like an automation that I think is so powerful is right now when somebody comes into the studio for a trial, what's happening is that the front desk is getting, I think, an email, like it's popping up in their email to say, hey, this person supposedly came in at 6. Did they actually show? Like what happened? Did they show? Did they buy? Did they no show? So the desk is now, because before the desk was never prompted to answer that. And then we show up the next day and go, so what happened with those 5 people? Like what's going on, right? Now it's like, hey, Julie, this happened. What happened to them? And the desk now says they showed, didn't buy, showed and bought, right? And when they do that, it's automatically putting them in that pipeline. And like Julie's saying, the automation knows that they showed up and said they wanted to think about it, right? So now they're in the funnel that's going to talk about reasons to still why they should buy. And it's going to have the certain offers coming through because they haven't bought yet. And the person that bought is going to be like, congratulations, welcome to APA, right? So again, it's like we get to treat all of these people differently, the way that they want to be treated because of what action they took. But the person in charge of this communication is not overwhelmed every time somebody new comes in. Like that work is done for them by simply putting an outcome of what happened. So, and it's just to show like real life of like, you're busy, you're going to forget, you're not going to follow up with the front desk or the person checking the info ad or whatever it is, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden you should be following up. You just aren't because there's so many things to do as a business owner.
Absolutely.
Okay, Julie, we could continue to talk for just a million different aspects of this. I mean, we have been so sold on it. I would love to hear just like any last minute, like piece of advice you want to give to somebody who is really wanting to start to grow their list, build their community, put these automations into place. Like what's a piece of advice you want to give them?
So when you're thinking about tech, you always want to start in your forever home. So this is important to know, in real life, we buy a starter home and then we upgrade, right? In tech, the bigger and more complex you get and the more students you get and the more customers and clients or what have you, the harder it is to move. And I've moved a few multi-million-dollar businesses and you just don't want to do it when you're big. So the easiest time that it's going to be to get your stuff situated to grow is today. It's not going to be any easier than it is today. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that when you're list building, you want to meet people where they are at. So it's the difference between you taking your little cart and going to the market and setting your cart up there versus sitting at your house and waiting for everyone to show up to your party. So we need to get out there. And so the best way we get out there for list growth is through paid ads to free offers, right? And so you go and you put out free offers in different areas, and that's how you build your list. And then once all that data is in there, now you can start doing all that cool stuff, segmenting your list, automating your follow-up, and getting those customers in the door.
So good. Okay. So one thing I want to share that I completely forgot about is, so I personally know you and Kathy, but it is not the reason I switched to FG Funnels. I actually was in a different software, and my Facebook ads manager kept saying, Stacy, the load speed is horrible. I'm telling you, I could do more with Facebook ads if we could switch to a faster software. And he had clients that were specifically using your software. And he was like, I'm telling you, we should at least split test them, because I know we could get more with our bang for our buck. So you just mentioned it's not fun switching a multiple 7-figure business over to a software.
No.
That is me. Hi. It is not fun, but it is costing me so much money to be on a software that is not getting faster. It feels like it's getting slower, right? And as painful as it is to have to do this, I know how much money it's going to cost me to stay on a platform that we just see is not working as well as it used to, right? Yeah. So that was what really pushed me over the edge. And that's something to hear too. It's like, sometimes it's not fun, but what is it costing you? It might cost you time, but how much money is it costing you to stay on a platform that's no longer serving you? And that's
Absolutely.
what we were.
And, you know, the thing that FG Funnels, we really pride ourselves on, like the power of a really strong automation software, but that boutique feel of our customer support. And a lot of software out there right now, they have, you know, hundreds of thousands of users, and the support isn't very good. This is what Kathy and I excel at. We are marketers, we are educators. And so when you join our community, it's small. Yeah. You are talking live to our US based team from 9 to 5, you know, and marketing automation software there's a lot of pieces and parts. So you need a tool that has really, really, really good customer service. And we are powered by a tool that is like very powerful, has a lot of developers. And so you are getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I would not be talking about you guys without using it, loving it, getting results with it. So one thing, first of all, I want to share with everybody listening. If you want to go check out FG Funnels, if you're like, I'm in, Stacy, I trust you. If you're using it, I want to use it. We have a special link set up for you to go and grab it. And it's stacytuschel.com/funnels. When you go there, what I want you to know is when you purchase the program, I am so grateful that FG Funnels was able to do this, but they basically I was running out of time, even though I have people on my team that could have built this. I went and just hired somebody to come and like build it out. And I spent a fortune. And I basically said to Kathy, I go, Kathy, can everybody have that funnel that I bought and spent like thousands and thousands of dollars on? And they figured out how to get that funnel inside of your funnel when you use our link. So if you want to see my gazillion step funnel of how we get people in our studio, the trials, the pipeline, all of that is going to be inside of there. So you can go to stacytuschel.com/funnels and it'll walk you through how to get all of that as well.
Awesome.
All right, Julie, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time so much. I know you are a very busy lady running multiple companies, but thank you for building such an incredible tool that both of my businesses are experiencing right now. And it is a game changer for us. So I really appreciate you and your dedication to this like marketing software space.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for being such a great customer for us.